Hello everyone, I am Varun Gupta and you are watching Natural English. This is Verbal Ability 26 capsule, a sure short way to improve words, phrases, clauses, collocations, constructions, expressions and ultimately develop a command over natural English. Today's first natural English sentence. I think he has an uninviting, cumbersome style of writing in his books, which I find unreadable. But it wouldn't be very tactful of me to tell him. Uninviting. We all know the meaning of invite. Something that does not invite you is uninviting. Not attractive or pleasant. Something which is not at all attractive, not pleasant. It does not give you any happiness if you go near it or follow it, and therefore something that does not invite you is uninviting. The water in the lake looked cold and uninviting. The water in the lake looked cold. It was very, very cold, and therefore I was not willing to go inside the water. He faced the uninviting prospect of a 2-hour wait for the next train. Now, if somebody asks you that you have to wait for 2 hours for the next train, this prospect, this possibility, this idea is definitely not attractive, it is not pleasant, it is uninviting. He faced such a possibility that he will have to wait for 2 hours for the next train. It wouldn't be very tactful of me too. Now please understand, dear friends, it's a wonderful pattern. It wouldn't be very is followed by any adjective. It basically means it will be very opposite of adjective. If I say, it wouldn't be very kind of me to refuse him, it would be very unkind of me to refuse him. If I refuse him, it will be very unkind of me. People will not look at me with respect. They'll always remember that how unkind I was. It would not be very kind of me too. It basically means if I do so, it will be very, very unkind of me. It wouldn't be very honest of you to offer your quotation now. Quotation, when we propose to sell some goods or to offer some services, then we in advance offer a quotation that we will supply it or we will do it in this much price. So that is offering a quotation. So it wouldn't be very honest of you to offer your quotation now. If you offer your quotation now, it would be very, very dishonest of you. Please understand, dear friends, wouldn't be very adjective would be very, very opposite of the adjective used. That's a wonderful pattern, and I'm very sure that it will make your language more flowery and more idiomatic. Tactful. What do you mean by tactful? Tactful, when you have tact, when you are careful what you say so as to avoid upsetting someone. You speak after a lot of assessment. You must speak something that must not upset anyone, that must not make anybody unhappy or angry. Then you are tactful. He had been extremely tactful in dealing with the financial question. Extremely, very much. He was very, very tactful in dealing with when he was dealing with the financial question. The question of finance was put up before him and he dealt with the question. He answered the question with a lot of tact, with a lot of diplomacy. I tried to find a tactful way of telling her the truth. I wanted to tell her the truth. And the sentence tells us that the truth was not pleasant, probably. The truth was uninviting. And therefore, I tried to find a tactful way. I had to tell her the truth in a tactful manner so that I may not upset her, I may not make her unhappy, I may not make her angry. Let's look at the complete sentence, dear friends. I think he has an uninviting, cumbersome style of writing in his books. Style of writing, the way you write your articles, your books. If it is uninviting, it is unattractive. Nobody is attracted towards that. Cumbersome, you use very tough words, very heavy words, and when somebody reads your book, he feels that it is becoming very, very heavy and sleep inducing. So I think that his style is very uninviting and cumbersome, which I find unreadable. His books are unreadable in my opinion. So please understand that author so far is very critical about his language and his books. But it wouldn't be very tactful of me to tell him. But if I tell him directly, it will be very tactless of me. It will not be tactful, it will be very tactless. If I say that, it will definitely be wrong. Second sentence. Sorry to butt in, but I just wanted to tell you that I am popping out to get some tea bags. Apparently, there aren't enough to go round. Butt in. When you butt in, you interrupt a conversation. A and B are talking and C immediately butts in. So C has interrupted, C has disturbed them. C has spoken in between and their free flow conversation is disturbed because of entry of C. So C has butted in. Don't butt in like that when I am speaking. When I am speaking, don't interrupt me like that. Now this is definitely an angry tone sentence. When you say it, you are scolding somebody who is trying to speak in between. May I butt in on your conversation? Now here somebody is asking. Two people are talking, they are in conversation and you ask, may I butt in on your conversation? Now please note, butt in is followed by on. May I butt in on your conversation, right? And may I join you in your conversation is the meaning of this particular sentence, and definitely it's very polite to say so. Popping out. Now to pop out basically means to exit, to get out, to go out and to leave. It also means to come out. His eyes popped out. His eyes came out. His eyes got out, like that. Walk along the path. Walk along the path. You should walk in line with the path. A beautiful pond with gooses and ducks. Suddenly pop out. If you keep on walking along the path, and if you are lucky, you may be able to see a beautiful pond with gooses and ducks, and they will suddenly pop out, suddenly come out, and that will be a beautiful scene for you. I shall pop out for an hour this afternoon. I shall exit for an hour this afternoon. I will go out for an hour this afternoon to fetch the van and pick up some things. I will go bring a van and pick up some things. I want to buy some things or I want to get some things. So for that, I will take an hour. I will go out this afternoon to bring the van and pick up some things. Aren't enough to. Be enough to, be sufficient for a particular purpose. Be not enough to, not be sufficient for a particular purpose. And we all know that be is representing is, am, are, was, were, will be, can be, should be and so on. Our forces are enough to teach Pakistan a lesson. Our forces are sufficient to teach Pakistan a lesson. They are sufficient for handling Pakistan properly. Hindi isn't enough to get a global job today. You should have a good command over English also. Personally, I respect Hindi a lot. I love Hindi a lot. But the sentence basically says that Hindi is not enough to get a global job today. If you want to go to the States or to Europe, then Hindi may not be enough, may not be sufficient to get such a job. You should have a good command over English too. You must learn English, and not only English, natural English, good English, so that you can survive and grow in global jobs. The complete sentence. Sorry to butt in. I am sorry to interrupt you in between, but I just wanted to tell you that. But I want to tell you that I am popping out to get some tea bags. I am going out to bring some tea bags. Apparently, it is visible. It looks like that. There aren't enough to go round. We don't have enough tea bags left to manage, to handle, and therefore I am going out to get some tea bags. So maybe some guests are coming and somebody is going out. So he says, I am sorry to disturb you, but I want to inform you that I am going out to get some tea bags because it looks like we don't have enough tea bags left. When some people are coming in our home, this number of tea bags may not be sufficient. Third sentence, this handy computer will stand you in good stead when you have got a backlog of work to get through. Handy. We call something handy when it is useful. It fulfills a purpose, then it is handy, it is useful. This book is handy for quick reference. This book is useful for quick reference. Reference. What are reference books? Reference books are used for reference. We don't read them cover to cover like dictionaries. So dictionaries are basically reference books. We don't read them completely. We refer to them when we have some doubts in some words. So this book is handy for quick reference. It's always handy to have a couple of spare batteries. If we have two batteries which are more than required, suppose we require 4 batteries, so let us keep 2 spare batteries. So it is always useful to have them, because whenever a battery dies, we can replace it immediately. This article gave lots of handy hints for decorating a small flat. How to decorate a small flat, how to go about decorating a small flat. This article, this write-up gives a lot of handy hints, a lot of useful hints. This article is full of some useful tips how to decorate a small flat. Stand you in good stead, a very useful phrase, dear friends. To be or to have been a good preparation for the future. When something is a very good preparation for future, or something has been a good preparation for future, we can say that it stands me in good stead. My years of teaching stood me in good stead. Now I have got 33 years of teaching experience, and this has definitely been very useful for me. It has stood me in good stead. Your languages will stand in good stead when it comes to finding a job. If you have a good command over your mother tongue, over English or some other language, these will definitely be a good preparation for your future when it comes to finding a job, when you start finding a job. When you want a job, definitely command over languages is definitely a very, very big help. Backlog. Backlog basically means an accumulation of uncompleted work or matters needing to be dealt with. When you have a lot of work which is uncompleted, not has been completed, pending work, right, or matters, when they accumulate, when they become a lot, then this is known to be backlog. You need to deal with all these, you need to handle all this, so this is a backlog that you need to complete. After the postal strike, when post office goes on a strike, there was a huge backlog of undelivered mail. Naturally, after the strike, undelivered mail that was not delivered, that was not given to the receiver, there was a huge backlog, a very big backlog of such mail. Naturally, when the postman goes on a strike, mail will be undelivered and a huge backlog will be created. It will take a month to clear the backlog of work. I have so much pending work that it will take me 30 days to complete this. I will take 30 more days to complete this backlog. The complete sentence, dear friends, this handy computer will stand you in good stead when you have got a backlog of work to get through. This useful computer is a very good preparation for future when you will be getting a backlog of work to get through, to finish, to handle. When you have got a lot of pending work to do, this computer will be useful to you and it will help you complete this backlog. Thank you, dear friends. Keep on watching, keep on learning, keep on growing, and keep on giving me your feedback. Very, very important. I wait for your suggestions and what you want next. Thank you. All the best.